welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Misbehaviour. Before we begin, let me know in the comments if you were looking forward to this or what your thoughts were if you've seen it already, and make sure to give this a thumbs up if you like these reviews. It helps me out immensely if you do that. Also, if you're new here and you like movies, whether it be blockbusters, hidden gems, or everything in between, please consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases and some classics. But now, let's jump right into it. This centers around the 1970 Miss World competition in London, showing us the events leading up to and during the competition. As the founders and organizers make their preparations, so does the newly formed Women's Liberation Movement, who plan on protesting the competition as it's broadcast live to hundreds of millions of viewers. This was released in most other countries at the beginning of the year, but just saw a VOD release in the US this weekend. It's directed by Philippa Lowthorpe, who's mainly known for directing British TV series such as The Crown and the miniseries Three Girls, and it contains an ensemble cast including Keira Knightley, Gugu Mbatha-Raw, Jessie Buckley, Rhys Ifans, Leslie Manville, and Greg Kinnear, all of whom were very good here. The acting is easily this movie's strongest suit. Keira Knightley especially is a joy to watch. She's very charismatic and has a strong presence that gives this a feel-good, uplifting tone. She's one of the major forces in the women's liberation movement alongside Jessie Buckley, who is also excellent. She is an absolute blast to watch and provided a lot of the film's comic relief. She had a lot of snarky comments and was very energetic. Part of the film is seeing the conflicting approaches by both Buckley and Knightley in the movement. Knightley is newer to it and has a fight the system from within approach, while Buckley has this more burn it all down approach. And seeing them trying to work together to reach a common ground was enjoyable, as they butt heads a number of times in comedic ways. Everyone else did a great job. Gugu Mbatha-Raw gave one of my favorite performances as one of the contestants of Miss World, known as Miss Grenada, whose views on all the events seemed to be somewhat conflicted. Her character had a lot of warmth and nuance to her, and she's easily one of the most underrated actresses currently working. And I also really enjoyed Greg Kinnear, who played the comedian Bob Hope, who hosted the event. As someone who watched a lot of older comedies growing up, I really enjoyed Kinnear's impression of Hope. He had a nice sense of comedic timing and was very lively in the way in which he carried himself. And while everyone did a nice job, I felt like they only had so much to do, which leads me to my main criticism. A lot of the movie felt like nothing but setup. While most of it revolves around the Miss World competition, the event itself is only a small part of the film in the third act. The first hour and 20 minutes or so had us get to know these characters, but it rarely felt like we were actively working towards anything. The film focuses on multiple storylines between the women's liberation movement, those in the competition, and the organizers. And the tricky thing with ensemble films in general, where there are multiple plots going on, is making sure each story has a strong element driving them forward. Since it may be a while before you circle back to some of the characters, you want to have the audience constantly asking for more while still being invested in whatever storyline it is you're cutting to. And I didn't always feel that with this movie. Now, thematically, it's great. It touches upon a lot of things that are still relevant to this day. It brings up the issues of gender equality, racial equality, and even gives us a look at the staunchly differing views between generations that may come to a head at times. Like, there's a great scene where Keira Knightley is discussing her role in this movement with her mom, played by Phyllis Logan. And as Keira Knightley is coming around to being more aggressive with her approach in the movement, she clashes with her mom, who focused more on her family life when she was younger and didn't think fighting for change was possible. And these sort of conflicting views are still prevalent today, especially when it comes to a number of things, so I found it to be a powerful scene. So because of moments like that, I think this film will have its audience, and there are those who will really be able to appreciate it for moments like that. But to me, it felt like nothing more than just moments. It's a very discussion-heavy film that talks about a lot of noteworthy topics that continually need to be talked about, and it's a very earnest, well-intentioned film. However, from a storytelling standpoint, it just didn't pack the punch that it thinks it packs. It never really felt like one scene built upon the other outside of the stuff revolving around Keira Knightley and Jessie Buckley. That was probably the most intriguing storyline in the film, and even then, I didn't find it to be consistent. Most of this movie comprised of scenes of characters just being charismatic, witty, stating their worldview, and getting into somewhat heated discussions. But only a few times did it feel like we were building towards something, and it really wasn't until the competition itself that it started to feel interesting. While we knew what characters stood for, rarely did it feel like there was some sort of conflict that needed to be resolved. And because it's cutting back and forth between a number of storylines and we wouldn't come back to characters for some time, the pacing felt slow in some areas and it was difficult to consistently hold my interest. This film brings up a lot of relevant discussions and has some strong themes, and because of that, some will definitely appreciate this and find a lot of value in it. And the great performances by a talented ensemble cast will definitely help things. However, it felt more like a series of nice moments rather than a compelling narrative that flowed smoothly, and it led to some sluggish pacing. It has a strong third act, but everything leading up to it can be hit and miss. It's a mild recommendation, it does have a feel-good tone to it, and it's certainly not a bad movie, but it definitely had much more potential than what we got, and it's nothing you need to go out of your way to see. Misbehaviour gets a 6 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Misbehaviour, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you like the acting? Did you like the themes? And what's your favorite movie based on a historical event? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll catch you next time.